Nice toque. What do you call them? Knit hats? Toque. Yeah. Your Gordo. The I don't know how you call it. Anyway.
Edie?
Beanie. There we go. All right. Cool. Yeah, we call them toques here. But yeah. So welcome back to the Off the Clock Show. We joined again with Shawn Gervais from OrbisX CRM, Marshall Hill from Pines Polishing Podcast, and Hyper Clean Car Care Products. How's it going, man?
Horrible.
Horrible shit. Because of that, I knew you were gonna say fuck. That's delicious. That's what I'm drinking right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so the wife went back to Brazil and
Right.
the her daughter's girlfriend's dad likes so my stepdaughter's girlfriend's dad
Okay.
uh likes the Campari or whatever and likes
Ah,
Negroni. So I
yeah.
tried to find something to send, like that's what we do. We'll send stuff back and forth, like
Nice.
drinks
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something, uh and this is what I found. I found this. I sent that for him, and
All
then I
right.
wanted to drink one with
Yeah.
you. But I started earlier. I remember
Yeah.
the other night I said I was like, I couldn't help it. I got to try it.
It's
No,
true. Yeah. You sent me the picture. It was like even the dog is licking his lips.
no, you said that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't. I
It's
put thumbs down, like
yeah.
no. But
It's
it
a
wasn't good. Like
delicious.
it caught my the picture caught my dog perfectly. Like
Yeah. It's
yeah,
true. That was
it
it.
was
Yeah.
funny. No, it's too bitter. It's too bitter. I take like immediately I taste that bit, and I don't like that's so
Not a bitter guy.
IPAs. I
Yeah.
don't like traditional IPAs. Fruity Pebble Gangs, let's go.
Yeah.
We got to do our fruity IPAs. But yeah, Campari, and then what, vermouth, and then
And gin.
London Dry Gin.
Yeah. It's
Not for
delicious.
me. Not for me.
Mm. It's better when you put a slice of orange. That might be the game changer, you know.
No,
But
no.
no, here's just like no. You know what it is? Because the part that's really bitter in there, it's the Campari, and a lot of people just can't. But me, I love Campari. I do. In summertime,
You like
Campari and
bitter.
orange juice. Ooh, man, so good. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. I do. I like bitter. My wife hates Negronis. Oh my god, with a passion, with a passion. Even just a
I'm on
sight
her
of it.
side.
Yeah, yeah. I'll let her know. Thanks. She'll be happy to hear that. See, she's on the sweet side too. She likes her lavender lemonades, things like that. And that's where it's like gin, raspberry lemonade,
Gin's dry.
something
Then you got
else.
the
Yeah, yeah.
bitter, and it's just like, just not for me. Like,
Not for me. All
it's not
right,
for me.
fair.
If you were close, I'd send it to you. But
Oh, damn. I'll have to visit. Hang on to it. That's yeah, I'm coming for it. Yeah, no, it definitely is one of my favorite ones. Recently, actually, so I went to this restaurant here called Chop, and really nice steakhouse. And we went there, and we went for lunch date. My wife orders me a Negroni, and this thing shows up, and it's crystal clear. And I'm like, okay, listen, I've been drinking Negronis for quite some time, and they're all red, like all of them. Campari is red, and the sweet vermouth is also red. Something's wrong here. But I smelled it, and I'm like, it smells like a Negroni, but something else is in there. And so then I asked the lady, and she said it's a mezcal Negroni. I never had one of those before. That you might like actually, because there's no Campari in it, but you get the other pieces. So they use a dry vermouth, so it's clear, and that's why the whole thing's clear. And then mezcal, so it's tequila's ugly sister. But it was actually delicious, yeah. And I think they smoked it. They must have. It didn't come smoked, but I could taste like a smokiness. Anyway, it was nice. But yeah, that was my first time having one of those. So maybe that's what you got to try instead. I'm still trying to get you back on the train here.
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Real tough.
Fair enough. Fair enough. We can agree to disagree.
Maybe if we go to SEMA sometime and we're in Vegas and you find it.
When in Vegas, there we go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sounds good to me, man. All right, I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm gonna play back this episode when we land. That's what I'll do. So yeah. So what are you sipping on in your red cup there?
That
Oh, you're
that's
having a
the
Negroni right
Negroni.
now?
Yeah, I mean, I bought it for this episode.
Is
Like
that why you got
that's
silent? That's
all
what
I
you just
have
said?
here. Like, oh yeah, this is why I'm lightly slipping.
Yeah. Well, cheers, man. There we go. Solid. I saw it.
Red Solo cup. I
Yeah,
fill you up.
yeah. Jesus.
Good song.
Always. Yeah, yeah. It's true. But
Oklahoma
yes.
legend right there. Toby
Oh,
Keith.
damn. I didn't actually know.
Hmm.
Oklahoma, huh?
Hmm.
Holy shit. Yeah, me, I'm horrible with like people's locations and stuff. My wife, she's like, those like trivia nights and stuff. Obviously, yeah. My wife murders those. Man, we could be watching a
Yeah, no, I'm
show.
not good at that. No.
Oh, okay, yeah. Man, she has this like weird hidden talent. I don't know how it could be useful in life, but she can determine when an actress is pregnant. No joke. It's like the craziest thing. We could be watching a show and she's like, "Oh wow, she's expecting a baby." I'm like, "What the fuck? She looks like she did last episode, and the last episode, and so on and so on." She's skinny, everything, and she's like, "No, no, no, trust me." And then she looks it up, and then because let's say it was an episode we watched like a couple months back, and she's like, "Yeah, see, look," and she's like 8 months pregnant. I'm like, "What the fuck?" She has this uncanny ability to, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that translates into a useful skill in the real world, but it's there. Yeah, yeah,
I don't know. I
yeah,
know why you married her, though.
yeah. I knew when she was. No, that's all that matters. Oh my god, man. So yeah. So what's new in the interesting world of detailing? I've been getting a lot of
That
the
is
same.
what's interesting, right? Like, why is there such an influx? Like, what's the big boom? There's posted inside of your group. Like, seems to
Yeah,
be a big boom. I know we had posted inside of our group, HyperClean Specialists. Somebody's like, "Hey, you going OrbisX? You going? You're not able." Like,
yeah.
what's the big boom suddenly? A lot of people coming over to OrbisX.
Big time, yeah. And I think it's a sum of a bunch of things that have happened. But one of the big things is the push that we had with past members that tried us out and then maybe went somewhere else or tried us out and maybe couldn't figure out technology that we had set up for them. It's just different things with the onboarding process. So we revamped that whole thing start to finish. And then I started reaching out to other people and saying, hey, listen, like I know you're using pen and paper right now and you tried us out, but you just really haven't grasped the technology side of it. But I get it, it can be a lot taking on new software. So give me 10 minutes and it'll transform your business, but what's the biggest hurdle that you have right now? And so I was basically just doing some mentoring outreach and reaching out to people. A lot of them had the same common problems in their businesses, so it was really easy to tackle them. And that was a big part of it. And then also
Hold
there's
on,
some
hold
other.
on. But before you keep going,
All
come
right.
on, we all got to have a moment
All right.
and say, "Great job!
Thank you.
You did marketing."
Yeah, of course. Thank you, right? Simple, reach out. That's all it is. So thank you. Cheers. And the other half of it was there's been obviously some stumbling blocks with some of the other players in this field, and so it's been a sum of all parts, And then a big one too is we changed the way that we were doing our Zooms, and so we've structured it more towards getting people onboarded and fully making sure they understand the system. A lot of the feedback was great in terms of like our new UI changes, things like that. But also people were saying, "Geez, man, I signed up for OrbisX, and well, one guy he posted and he said, I was with this other company for 5 years, and he said I only regret not making the switch sooner." He's like, he was only 10 days in his trial, and he was like, hey, OrbisX blows the other company out of the way. Like they're just unable to keep up. Like they just don't have the features there, And he was blown away by it, but him too, it was the same thing, just walking him through, answering questions. And he said, look, when I first looked at things, I was like, oh shit, there's just a million options. And he said, actually, it's laid out really well. Once you understand, like, oh, clients are here, estimates are there, it actually makes a lot of sense. And he said, just having someone kind of like hold his hand for the first day or so, he said really helped. So that was a big push. So yeah, basically marketing and then taking a look at the business and saying, okay, we what challenges do we have when someone onboards into the system? What are they struggling with? And then just addressing those problems. It's basically reverse engineer your own business, and it's the same thing that I do frequently and often in all my other companies as well. Is you take a look at your processes, what's working well, what areas do we have challenges, where are we struggling, and I find what a lot of people do is they try and just throw more gas on the fire. So if it's like, oh shit, I'm really slow right now. I just need new customers. Does anyone know a good person that does, like lead marketing, or does anyone know a good web designer or SEO and this and that? And they're looking for that quick fix, but really they haven't actually fixed the foundation, which is a system. So even if you onboard another 20 customers, are they just going to fall through the cracks like the other 200 customers you had? So fixing up those processes. And that was why start of the year I mentioned one of our first episodes. I think it was Tanner. Tanner had asked. He said, "What's like one piece of advice you have for 2026?" And I said, "Stop worrying about new customers." I said, "Just you have a list. You've been in business for a few years now. Just focus on that list and perfect that customer experience. Because once you do that, you're naturally going to take on new customers from referrals, or when they go to your website, they Google you, whatever. You're naturally going to get some new customers without any effort. Are you going to get loads? Probably not if you do nothing, but you're going to get some new ones. But make sure that your core process and experience is top notch, so that any of those new ones are now entering that funnel instead of your past funnel that was full of holes where people are just falling out. So that's kind of what I'm doing with OrbisX. That's what I've been doing with AutoWorld and Printing Shark, and just making sure that those experiences are top notch and we're still delivering that. Because without that, it doesn't matter. You're going to just forever be fishing in a pond and filling up your funnel, but you're going to be losing fish because your process sucks. And that's really what it is.
Do you think that's the biggest problem most retailers have?
I think 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, I do think that a lot of them struggle with marketing as well.
Let me add this into it. They which you and I have talked about. They look for the one hit wonder.
Yeah.
And that's where I think it starts. Or do you think that's the result of not having it, like you said? What do you think? Which way do you think? That's kind of chicken egg theory, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I do think that's a really good question. I think they fall into they are looking for that one hit wonder where I want something that just works. And part of the problem there is, let's say it's your advertising. So it used to be you get an ad in Yellow Pages, for example, right? And that just worked really well. So it was really easy to figure that out. It's like, oh, no ad in Yellow Pages, no business, phone's not ringing. Put an ad in Yellow Pages, boom, the phone's ringing. Well, it's still the same in a way, because you can do that with Google Ads. If you start a Google ad tomorrow and you spend $5,000 a week, I guarantee you're going to be number one, because there's no detailer out there spending $5,000 a week in your area. There just isn't. But how long are you going to keep spending $5,000 a week, and is it going to generate you more than $5,000 in revenue? Probably not. So, especially even if you land like big clients or people that want to just buy every service under the sun, or you sell them a $5,000 coating or something, it doesn't matter if your process sucks, because you're going to have to forever do that. And I think that's where people don't take the time to realize that shit changes. So the Yellow Pages ads don't work anymore. I got to.
But they might not. I wonder if the pushback is they don't want to do, like, I wonder if they think, well, I want the $600 ticket. I want the $500 detail, right? They have this number, and like, because you'll see it in groups, they'll be like, well, yeah, I don't do it for $200. I don't do nothing less than $499. Like, yeah. Huh? Okay, my guy.
Yeah.
All good. You be you. I'm not. There's no judgment here, because I bet you there's people listening. I'm going like, yeah, me too. I'm like, okay, we all have our number. It's not about not want to get into that discussion. I don't. I want to go into 200, 400. Doesn't matter. It seems to be that we're just trying to get one guy for one gal for one hit. Whatever that number is, I'm not trying to get hung up on the number, because that number could be different, which we say it's different for everybody. But if you just look across the industry, it seems to be whatever that number is, that's what they want to hit every time. And it's like, I got to hit this because I just don't have to do as much, right? Like, if I just get the big ticket, I just don't have to do as much. My number's high.
So I need less volume. I don't have to work as much, but
I mean, it's a theory.
It's a theory, and it's a strategy. It's a business model
that a lot of us are doing, like a lot.
Yeah, I think, and that's where I think that one of the big things someone needs to first think. If I was just starting out and I had to look at my business that I'm creating, I would first figure out what route I want to go in terms of, do I want to work this business myself for the next X amount of years? Because there's nothing wrong with going into business and it just being your job. Like, it's just you. Self-employed. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. The problem comes in where someone creates themselves a job, they become self-employed, but that's not what they actually wanted. What they want is, I want to manage a team and have my team do the work. I do the admin stuff, and I'm maybe at home with my wife and kids, and my team is just running the business. Well, I'm running it, but they're operating the business, right? so if you make yourself a job and you're self-employed, it's difficult to scale to that point. But then other people look in the beginning and they say, well, I want to get to the point and I want to scale, but they don't want to do it by taking on cheaper jobs. And they just don't want to do it. But then it becomes difficult because now you're boxing yourself into a corner where scaling is going to be really slow or oftentimes not possible. So figuring that out in the beginning, like we knew we wanted to scale. That was our goal. And so in the beginning, I was there with my wife, rubber boots on, detailing cars. And if I looked at it in comparison to what I was making at all my companies per hour, I was taking a loss, a big loss. But it was the foresight of, or the future planning that I'm not going to be doing this forever. So my wife and I said, we're going to go hard for 4 months. And all our friends were like, what, you guys are washing cars? Like, you guys don't even need the money. What are you doing? And we're like, no, you'll see. Just wait 1 year from now. And sure enough, 1 year from that, we'd built a 7-figure business. And it didn't happen because we were chasing those high tickets. It might have still happened, but it might have taken 3 years. So what we did is we said we want to scale. So how much will our employees cost us? Let's see how long it takes us to do it with no experience and just jumping in. And then let's refine our process to a point that we could hire another human being to do this same thing, possibly faster, most likely, because we were kind of slow, but hire someone else to do that. And then now you're just, you become your own hiring person. That's all. Like now that's your job. I'm hiring people. I'm firing some people, and I'm doing admin stuff, but you're not detailing anymore. You've got other people doing that, and your highest cost is going to be labor, 100%, because in this industry, the amount of chemicals you have to use, even when it comes to film and PPF, like you're billing it out to the customer, the materials, so it's not a cost you're absorbing unless your staff member fucks something up, but ultimately your biggest cost is going to be labor, and you have to pay for them whether if we have film sitting on the shelf, it's just sitting on the shelf. It's not perishable. It's not like a loaf of bread. Staff, if they're sitting on the shelf and they're not being put to work, that's where things start to get expensive. And I think that's a fear that a lot of people have. But it's one of those things, you got to take that risk. If you're going to be in business and you want to scale, that's what you got to do. But figuring out that model in the beginning of what you want to go after, that's what's going to set your pricing. And take a look at what's out there in the market. And I think another thing too to add on to that is people look at that one hit where I got to get a customer and I want them to pay $500 for the detail, and they're just thinking of that one single transaction. And you have to realize that you're acquiring the customer. That's why they have those stats, the cost of acquisition. You're acquiring them, which means that for all of their auto care needs, you are now their person. So as long as you nurture that relationship and you make sure that you continue to be their person, the lifetime value of that customer is so much more than the $500 you might squeeze out of them with one detail. But you have to realize that for it to be super profitable for you means that the customer may not be getting that $500 of value. So if you're chasing the $500 number, but you're like, I want to offer value down here because I want the rest to be my profit for my pocket, that customer is not coming back. And so by building a better process, your margins will be lower because you're going to have more interactions with the customer that you're not even going to track for expenses. More follow-ups the staff have to make to that person, check in on them, sending them birthday cards, just everything start to finish that you're going to put into place for your process shrinks those margins down. But it means that you have more transactions with that person. And the more transactions you have, the more likely you can lead them into, hey, we also have a maintenance plan. I see you've been coming twice a year. If you come 2 more times a year, we can put you on our basic, essential plan, right? And then we can migrate you up to our other plans as well. So you start to put them through. So you have your main funnel where customers come from, but then within your business, you have these little journeys, these mini funnels where you're funneling your existing customers through. And that $500 you were chasing day one, trust me, you're going to make that back tenfold, 20 times. Through referrals, he's going to start bringing his wife's car there, refers his neighbor, you're in the driveway and his neighbor sees you there all the time, not just once, and then 6 months later it's some other guy because they're just going based on price. But if you're truly providing that value, that's where the neighbor starts to see you there every month, and he's like, maybe I'll give those guys a call next month. And then maybe a month passes and he doesn't, but then the next time you keep showing up and he's like, ah, shit, that's right, I was supposed to call him. You know what? Maybe I'll just go say hi real quick. And that's where you say, oh, hi, nice to meet you. I'm in the middle of this, and I do make sure that I try and do my job efficiently, so I have to get back to focus on this. But you are important as well. Let's set up a time to talk. I'll give you a call at 8 o'clock. Does that sound good? And you just, it's amazing how those journeys start to roll. But that's where it all stems from that. What do you want out of your business? What do you want to build? What's the road look like for you to get there? And people don't think about that enough. They just jump in, start swinging the hammer, and they're like,
well, they're swinging the hammer because that's the main drive of the industry, right? I think I've shared with you. I've had a detailer tell me, like, well, their customers just don't do it. Like, people around here, right? Like, and there's this belief system that customers just call, customers just search, when they're ready for this package, right? When they're ready for whatever this detail is, fill in the blank, right? Like, whatever it is, they just call when they're ready.
That's
okay. Like, I'm not going to argue. Like,
yeah.
Like, and there you go. I think that's where a lot of us don't really understand what marketing is then, because then we go, hey, I put an ad out on Facebook. You see it in Facebook groups all the time. Hey, I've been putting out ads for it. Like, I think we even talked about this in an episode, right? Yeah. And so you see it happen. They go, it ain't working no more. You go, okay, there's the whole system, almost in a sense, never got it on a right start because you were looking for the home run. You didn't have anything built in, and you're marketing this way, and you're competing the same as everybody else, just trying to make yourself look different, but you're in the same area as everybody. You're doing the same things.
Yeah.
It's like there's got to be different. There's got to be we talk about this differentiator or the blue whale, right? Like, something needs to get you to stand out. And how do you offer whatever it is that you want to do to get all those customers, not to just one time, but to repeat over and over? I wonder if the idea that somebody might have would be, well, I got to just lower my price. And I wonder if that's sort of what you would kind of hang your hat on. If you want to get more people to call in, more people to book, one philosophy or one idea would be get them in at a figure and then upsell. 100%. Your favorite word.
I absolutely love upsells. Oh my God. You know what I love about upsells is that the most successful transaction, like this most successful part of any transaction, is after someone's already said yes. So if someone has said yes to come to your business, yes to use your service, yes to show up at a certain time, they've just made a lot of commitments with you and a lot of agreements. So now you guys are in agreement. They're going to show up and let you work on their day-to-day vehicle. They're going to let you work your magic and make it look beautiful again. They've said yes to all of these things that you promised them. That is the euphoria moment. Like, okay, you went to Disneyland. Was it easier, do you think, for Disneyland to upsell people once they're there and they're excited and their kids are going on the rides and stuff? Or do you think it would be, months before you guys show up and they send you stuff in email?
I understand where you're going, and I don't mean to take what you're going to say, but they hit you at the moment of purchase.
Yep.
Is the big one. They tell you to plan. Like, hey, when you buy, you're going to have to this, so make sure
you're going to need this, you're going to need that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like they prepare you. Well, once you're there, you're kind of fucked. Like, so there's not really much you can do once you're there.
Absolutely, but there's a lot of shit you can buy, but you just have no choice.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. There's no upgrades though. Like, there's no park upgrade or like get some new pass upgrade. Sorry, I didn't mean to rain your parade.
No. You actually didn't. Because,
okay.
So yeah. But no. Remember, so I studied those two books like in depth, right? Creating Magic and Be Our Guest. So that's the whole premise. Is that you catch them at the moment of euphoria, right? Now here's the thing. There are upsells within the park that they pitch you, but in a different way, right? So, and the reason that I wanted to make this distinction is that a lot of people think when it comes to upsells that it has to do with like a hard sell, that you're just like, oh, since you're here for a detail, we also
Yeah,
have
yeah, that's what I thought you were meaning. Like, so
Yeah.
I was thinking of the
No.
park, and I'm like, no, no, they actually told
No.
me I was fucked. Like, I tried to upgrade some things, and like I couldn't do it.
Yeah, so there's subtle ways of still accomplishing the upsell, but it has to do with the pre part as well, like the pre-service. And so that's where I was glad you mentioned that, the time of purchase. So the time that they say yes, you start nurturing those sales. So
Immediately.
immediately. And that's why before
So we do
an
that,
appointment-
what, Luna and email?
Oh, really simple actually. OrbisX, it's built in. Once you put in your upsells, Luna's just gonna start sending that automatically. Whenever she sends an appointment reminder, she's gonna talk to your customers and be like, "Hey, other customers that got the same service you're getting, enhance their service with the following things," and it's pitched automatically. I get guys sending me pictures all the time. They'll be at dinner with their wife or whatever, and they send me a picture. They're like, "Hey, Shawn, amazing! Luna just booked me $800 of XYZ," And the funny thing is, most of those messages, the person will say, just booked $800 ceramic coating, for example, off of $100 detail. Those are the kind of messages. And so it's like, guys, that's where the magic is. So you nurture it before the appointment, but then when they're at the appointment is the part where they're fucked. And what I mean by that is that they've now locked themselves in that you're their guy. They're not gonna, okay, well, I came to you and I got the detail, but oh, I also want to get tinting done, but I'm gonna go down the road for the tinting, even though you already do the tinting and you're here. My car's there already. So that's where you're now trapped in the park.
I see what you mean.
Then-
We got
yes,
trapped with
that's-
photos and
Oh, yeah.
unlimited photos, or
that
I see
drying
what you're
machine,
saying.
The drying
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, I see
Yeah.
what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
once they're in your
So-
ecosystem,
So let's build it out. Let's build it out.
All right.
Because we can't go too far, because Tanner is also the guy that, he's asking for a lot.
yeah,
Like, hey man, that's just a tip. So
yeah.
he wants it all though.
He wants it all. He wants it. Yeah.
He wants it all.
Jesus Christ.
All right. So
Build it out.
build it out. We've got to get somebody in. What package are we going to get them in? Right? We're going to call it a detail. How in depth of a detail is it? Will be that start. Does it include shampoo? Does it include leather conditioner? I'm going to say yeah. I think if you're going to say I'm going to full detail,
I would think so.
you're going to need to clean the carpets. You're going to need to do the seats. That's not an upsell on stain removal, I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't.
agree.
I think that's part of it. Now everybody's going to argue. I get it. You could definitely do pet hair, right? You could start to do some stuff. That's on the inside. The outside, you could definitely go into the polishing, go into the upgrade from a sealant, that go into then Uno or Stack. Stack would be great. Easy to apply, 15 to 20 minutes.
It's
Brilliant.
literally built for packages like this.
Yeah, it is. So you just got a basic detail, right? Comes with basic stuff, right? Like, yes, shampooing carpets is basic. Like,
Yeah. That's it.
it's a basic thing to do. Cleaning seats, basic, right? Polishing, not basic, right? So
100%.
polishing could be an upgrade, right? Then we talk about, a very early, entry, easy ceramic coating within a year type, I wouldn't go too hard on that other stuff. That could come later. But you get somebody in that's looking for a good quality service. You set it at a fair price. And then once they're there, right?
That's when you, boom, exactly. You have some things ready for them.
Well,
And-
hold on. Not once they're there. Once they book,
oh,
you have the flow set
Yeah.
up to, something about, hey, what was it that you were just looking at? Or if you
Yeah.
had a way of knowing which they were deciding on, or, what's something that you wish you would have gotten, something something that you can immediately start that don't miss out, just the way Disney does. Because that's what made me there. Like, soon as I'm looking to book, that's like, don't miss out on this, because you're just gonna you're already here. Like, what is it? What, your time, like what, something. You're already here, so let's go ahead and get it. Whatever that little nut, whatever that little piece, doesn't have to be big, just a little. It's already something.
Exactly, and this is one area that OrbisX really excels, is so a way that we track whenever they viewed the upsells in their appointment reminders. And so on the actual appointment, what we do is we call them to confirm, and we ask them one specific question. I see your appointment's on Thursday at 10 a.m. Is there anything that might come up that you can think of why you wouldn't be able to make it to your appointment? And it's our way of making that kind of verbal commitment with them. They, embedded in their brain that, nope, I have an appointment Thursday at 10. And it's just one of those psychological tricks. During that, we've checked their appointment, and so this is where you got to spend 5 minutes and do some homework and see what type of vehicle it is, see if you've labeled it, because you can label vehicles in OrbisX. Is it their vehicle? Is it the brother-in-law, the spouse, whatever it is? Do a little bit of homework. Call them prepared. So be prepared. Call them and see. It'll say in red, customer viewed upsells. If they viewed it, you can see and you can say, oh, they didn't add any. Okay. Or if they did add one, congratulate them on it. Oh, good choice, right? But if they didn't, then what you got to do is say, oh, by the way, we sent you a list of the upsells. Was there anyone that you had a particular question about? Don't call them upsells. We call them suggestions. So in the system, they're called upsells because you're upselling, but we call them suggestions. So we sent you some suggestions to add on to your appointment. Was there a particular question that you had about one of them, or did you want more information about a particular one? And then if they're like, oh, no, it was all kind of self-explanatory, it's like, well, you might have missed, and that's where you capture their attention. But we actually have this product called Stack, and you might not have seen it in the list because there were a couple that we had sent you. You might have missed that one. But here's a couple key things that it really does for the appointment. And you start to throw in the value. And so you say, you know what? No rush on it now. I can show you in person during your inspection. And that's where now you've planted that seed, so you don't have any pressure there. Sometimes they'll say, oh yeah, go ahead, add that to the appointment. Other times, you say, don't worry. You're setting it up for the future. So the minute they're now in your ecosystem, they're at the park, basically. Now you're hitting with them with the photos, with the towel drying thing that you got after the ride. Yeah, all of those things. But what you're really trying to do is it's nurturing that relationship. Because at the end of the day, I don't think you're selling something that you don't think has value, or you shouldn't be, to the customer. It's really difficult to sell something you don't believe in. And so if you're selling products and using products that you believe in and selling services you believe in, you truly are offering that value to the customer. So that's going to come across as genuine. And so it's not upselling in a way. You're just recommending options for the customer that's going to benefit them. And so switch the focus to that, to the benefit of them, their vehicle, their life, the time they're going to save, and really start to look at the vehicle as a whole and diagnose things. Like, so that's why we have the 3 wishes. Ask them, like, what 3 wishes do you want us to focus on? Please focus on my windows and mirrors. They drive me crazy when I see them. Oh, do you not have them coated yet? No. What do you mean coated? Oh, wow. Let me tell you about this glass coating we have. It'll transform your life. So you literally get them to upsell themselves. And so they'll tell you what bothers them about their vehicle, what pain points they have, and all you're doing is just filling in those blanks with the recommendations. So it's not so much selling, it's a soft sell in a way, because they've already said yes. Like, it's a warm lead. It's like asking a girl out for date number 2. You already did date number 1. Date number 2 is going to be a lot more relaxed, a lot easier, and that's why 2026, the focus is on repeat customers, getting them back in, offering them more things, selling them more things. Guaranteed, if half of these detailers went through their list of customers that they had in last year, their revenue would triple in size just from that existing list by taking a look at the appointments. What did I do on that vehicle? When was the last time I saw them? Oh, I saw them once last year. Could you see them twice? Oh, sure. And then when you see them twice, could you also sell them some other service, maybe a coating? Could you maybe upsell something that's excessive, like, oh, you have excessive pet hair? There's different things you can do. And on that note, when you mention the basic package, a lot of people do get hung up on those. What's included? What should be excluded? almost like they're thinking like what's fair for me as the detailer. And it's like, stop thinking about yourself, man. You make that customer extremely happy, and they're going to open their wallets time and time again. And if they feel that the benefits are there, and so all you want to remove from those basic packages really are those things like we talked about, that polishing, things like that. But ultimately anything that's excessive. So yes, you're going to shampoo the carpets. Yes, you're going to remove pet hair. But it depends on like what level we're talking here. Like if someone comes in, they've got 12 dogs that sleep in their vehicle every night. That's excessive. So anything that's excessive beyond normal use, that's what you're looking for as the exceptions. That but it's not a penalization talk though. It's also not oh yeah, nope, that's not included. It's we cover normal wear and tear with this package, and the current state of the vehicle. We can definitely help you out though, 100%.
So another thing that I see that detailers throughout many groups is they'll be asking this, and this is where they get hung up next, is they'll go, how much should I charge, ... And specifically with that, where you're talking about extra charges, you're already there. You're not trying to make, you're already there. Okay. Let's, carpet cleaning, for instance, or dog hair removal, like you're already vacuuming. You're already going to be, so it's not, I just personally have a thing with people like, oh, $200 upcharge. Like, my guy, what are you doing? So for instance, let's go with this. I specifically would upgrade and upcharge and upsell, whatever we want to call it, suggest, going from a wax to a sealant. Right? It's not so much today. That's not a thing that people have to really do some upsells, right? Like for the most part, wax isn't really discussed as much as it used to be. We say sealants are kind of more of what would go with a full detail, because detailers would put on a spray sealant. They're not going to put a wax on, right? Like it's just waxing's gone. So they might spray seal. Okay. If you're already washing, and for me, I guess this would be what some people will decide. If I would always, it doesn't matter. A full detail, if I was going to put down some type of protection, it was going to get some type of decon. Right? Like that just.
Well, that part's already, exactly.
So for me, I would upsell a sealant for $25. Everything in my process was the same. I just had to switch out a product. A bottle of Teflon enforced sealant back in the day wasn't much more than $25 to $30. I mean,
for the bottle,
for the whole bottle.
Yeah.
But I knew my competitors were upselling for 100 plus. I would hear it, and I'm like,
you're like, what the fuck?
I mean, they couldn't believe I was cheap, and I'm like, I made my money back, my guy. Like, I'm golden. This bottle's half empty. I mean, what are we talking about here? I upsold 10 of them this week. Like, what are we talking about? Like, it didn't make sense. Yeah, for me, it didn't make sense. So, for instance, if we got a sealant and it's a full detail, maybe you don't throw clay, maybe you don't throw Fuego or an iron decon on. I guess that's where some people charge $200 and some people charge $400, right? Like, it's going to depend on what package you do here. I get it. But if you're already prepping the vehicle,
that's the bulk of the work. Like,
like you've already prepped the vehicle, you don't need to charge $199 for stack. Like you've done most of the work. You got 15 to 20 minutes. That's all you got to do. And you'll have about $10 to $15 cost.
Yeah.
So what do you need to charge to get? That means in 15 to 20 minutes, you could make an extra what per detail? $50? 75?
Yeah. And you're
$100? I don't, I'm not telling people, right? Everybody, wow, I can't believe you'd go, whoa. Some people would love to have $50 extra a detail with only a $10 cost. You haven't done anything extra except switch out a product, right? So
100%.
my math is different. I get it. I think differently than other people. I didn't go for the big ticket. I would have gone for that average size ticket, get them in, and then have the different ways that you can, well, offer them some other service since you're there that's actually better for the customer. Hey,
100%,
I
yeah.
don't have to make a killing here. I can make a good nut, and then that customer gets a great reward. Shawn, do you think that guy's more willing to be back every? I know we say we don't do maintenance. Okay, we're not doing maintenance, but maybe we typically see people like we just said once a year, and you go, well, maybe we can see them now twice a year. I think if you did that, you could see them 4, 5, 6 times a year.
100%.
You haven't given yourself too much more work with like, oh, it's more time. I can't. No, you've actually created a plan for yourself to go after those customers, but provide them something better. And then you $10 cost? Like,
Yeah. It's a no-brainer. It really is. And the cool thing about this process, excuse me, if you do want to scale and you, or maybe you already have staff, perfect. The bonus there is that those upsells usually will cover your labor costs for the job. So it actually enhances the overall profit much more than just that extra little bit that's received because of how many they can do in an hour. So if you take something that takes 15 minutes to do, well, that's perfect. So how much more are you going to make on that extra hour when you do 4 of those jobs? So it's something that it's a no-brainer, really. But you're absolutely right. The problem with nickel and diming customers is that they're left with a bad taste in their mouth. And the worst part is they're not going to tell you. Most times, those customers are just going to pay their bill and they're going to say thank you and they're going to leave and they're never coming back. Or they're going to reduce their frequency, or they'll come back in a jam, or maybe they try someone else out 2-3 times before they finally come back. And either way, it's a damaged reputation within that customer's eyes. And it happens to me. Me and my wife go places, and if they nickel and dime us for something, or they just leave us with a bad feeling, or I'm like, holy shit, that shouldn't have cost that much, or something. It leaves us with this, yeah, we'll go back, but maybe in 2 years or something like that. Like it happens. That's what customers do. But
absolutely.
I've never called the business and said, hey, by the way, didn't like the price of this, and da-da-da. I just pay it and I'm gone.
There's
And
what's
then,
called buyer's remorse, right? Like if we
yeah,
felt we've paid too much for something,
yeah,
we have a little buyer's remorse. So don't hit them over the head. Make it a
yeah,
great transaction for both of you.
yeah,
I mean, that's really what you're taking care of somebody. You're
yeah,
trying to encourage them to be a part of your program, your community, the way
yeah,
you believe in car care, the way you believe they should take care of their vehicle. So
100%.
you should already have it teed up maybe inside of your plan is, hey, maybe I don't decon in that package, but
Mm,
with the upsell, I know that I'll be doing it when I get there.
yeah,
So I just gonna need some fuego. I'm just gonna need something to put on the paint to get the decontamination out of there. It's okay. Like
yeah,
this is a plan, right? It's called a
exactly.
play, right? Like you
Yeah,
set this up so you can try the play, and it's okay if it doesn't work on the first one. Like if you got 50 customers and it works on 10%, 5 times 100. Five
yeah.
times 50, 250 to $500 you just added per month.
That's part of your
Shit.
play. And
Like,
then absolutely. And then
damn.
what you do is you refine that, and next month you tweak something. Maybe you
Or you don't.
remove,
You
or
just
you
keep
don't. That's
going for 6, 8,
true.
10 months and you just add another
Yeah,
$500 every month. Like
it's true.
it's
Yeah,
more than you were doing before.
yeah. And you know what, too? Sometimes when you do something like that, it kind of takes a minute to catch on for some customers too. Like maybe there is a customer that needs to have done it. Let's say you want them 4 times a year. Maybe them going from 1 to 4 is a big leap for some customers. So they're like, so maybe that customer you start to see twice a year, but other ones you're seeing 4 now. And then eventually that customer you're seeing twice a year, now they're like, I think I'm gonna start coming monthly or something. Like stuff like that happens. So if you stick with the program and it's generating results, it's a no-brainer really. And you just, refine parts of the process, make it better and better and better. And yeah, that's why like a big thing that I do with even with OrbisX is the same kind of thing. I'm less concerned with the immediate, like, a lot of people have told me, like, oh, you should raise the price of OrbisX, you could make a fortune, you could this and that and stuff. I'm like, listen, like, I'm about providing great service, and like I'm selling a product that has no inventory limits. You know what I mean? Like it's just clicking buttons and then boom, we have more. Like there's no, I don't have to worry about like, getting pre-orders and getting in one pallet, you know? Sorry, I just had to say. Sorry, the moment came up. I had to take it. I had to take it. But
Wonderful shot.
yeah, thank you, thank you. So
3 pallets.
yeah. Oh, 3 pallets. Yeah, that's right.
Almost 3
Ooh,
pallets.
it's a big upgrade, man.
Big order.
Yeah, it's a big pre-order. Yeah. So it's one of those things is that looking at the long term in business is what it's really about. Like you're building relationships. If you were selling one-off things, like I don't know, let's say you were selling I don't know, birthday balloons specifically for 5-year-olds. Like you might not be worried about repeat customers necessarily. You know what I mean? Because you're not going to see them again. But in this business, especially something like people's vehicles, people's personal vehicles, it's an extension of their home. It's an extension of their pockets even at times. They keep their personal belongings in there. People spend a lot of time in their vehicle. Like really think about the industry that we're in.
And they spent 85 grand, some of them.
Yeah.
It's not
absolutely.
the Mercedes guys. It's not always those guys. It's also the Tahoe, the Sequoia,
100%.
right? Like
100%. Yeah.
those. Even you could even go into some of the what's the Korean brand? Why am I drawing? Kia.
Or Kia, yeah.
Yeah, some of those Kia. What Sequoia? No, Sequoia.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Oh my God.
Kia Santa Fe, and then there's that bigger one. I forget them, but some of those are expensive. Those people need to care for them.
Yeah, it's true.
But they're not going to do correction. They're not going to do 5-year coding. That's not them. But regular good cleanings with some protection that they can just look good while they drive down the road. Yep, that's them. Absolutely.
It's true. Yeah, we ran the stats at our shop recently, and one of the biggest contributors to last year's revenue was the Genesis drivers. A lot of them. It loads. Part of that's due to they have a massive dealership that just like revamped and rehauled near us, and so we have a good working relationship there. But the other big part is we're in a government town. Like we understand our market, and a lot of them, they make X amount, they make good money, not fantastic money, but they make really good money. They're not millionaires, but they've got, good pension, benefits, all that kind of stuff. And they want a car that's, got some luxury amenities, but it's reliable enough, but they want something that looks like it's like a nice European vehicle, and all this stuff. So that's what they purchased. And they care about the condition of that vehicle. Do they care as much to be like, oh, I want this thing PPF'd or this and that? We haven't found that to be the case as much as other types, but the one thing they do care about, like we look specifically at our maintenance customers, and it was staggering. Something like 60-something% were Genesis or in that same caliber and class. So it was like same thing. You'd get like the Toyotas, but the higher end Toyotas. So they were someone that wanted the reliability of a Toyota, but they didn't want to drive a Camry. And that's what we were noticing, things like that. And then one of our worst performing, in case this is helpful for anybody, and I don't know why this was, but the Lexuses.
Well, I was going to try and guess. I wouldn't have said
sorry.
Lexus. I wouldn't have said Lexus.
Yeah, those were our least performing ones. Not sure why, but those ones were. I should be specific though. The SUVs they were kind of in the middle. They were in the middle, but I think it's like the IS 250 or something like that. Anyway, like the cars, they were poor performers. I think what happened is the people that purchased them, they maxed out their budget on the car itself, and they were like, "There's nothing left." They're just like, but they were the headaches for us. But yeah, the Genesis, and you're right, some of those like the Santa Fe's and stuff. Yeah, it's man, they got stuff going on, but. Anyways, man, guys, you got enough ammunition there. Get started. 2026.
More than the tip.
Yeah, more than the tip. Yeah. It's not the whole thing, but yeah, it was.
For some people, it was.
Some people, it was. Yeah, not mine. Not even when it's bent in half. But no, sorry. No, it's tiny, but it's carry-on. But Appreciate you as always, man. Guys, tune in next week. We'll have more. And don't forget, check out Pints Polishing Podcast as well. And check out some of the products that we mentioned there. They're built for packages like these. So
Inside the OrbisX app.
Yes, use the app. It's within the app. Go to the HyperClean page. It's right there from your dashboard. I have been seeing an uptick in people purchasing through the app instead of going direct to the website. So that's awesome. Thanks, guys. Helps with recognition. And that way we track things and make sure we're doing a good job getting you guys the right products. So, yeah. Appreciate you as always, man. And we'll see you next time.
All right, next week.
See ya.